welcome to another shade tree project. It's been a while. I had to take a break. Not feeling too great, but I decided it's been about a week and I better get something done. So today we're making rice wine. I guess you could say sake, but I'm not making it the traditional way. What I did right here is I took 4 cups of jasmine rice and 2 cups of raisins, and I cooked it down. Let it set overnight in the fridge so it'd be nice and cool. It wouldn't kill my yeast. Today's yeast, we're going to be using this 1171B. They call it the Beast. So it's supposed to go higher on your alcohol by volume. So that's what we'll be using today. This, ta-da, is the only stuff you need to make it. So, here we go. First thing we need to do, we got our sanitized bucket, freshly sanitized. And we better get the rest of the suds out of it. Not that they would hurt us. It's just who wants suds in there, right? Alright. Now, the rice weighs a ton. I hate to tell you. And if I hold it upside down, jasmine rice is very sticky. So, there we go. We're starting. That's going to make a mess. I can tell already. I can feel the mess happening. Anyway, when I cooked the rice, I put the 2 cups of raisins in with the rice. Did I mention I put 2 cups of raisins in this? Probably not. But that's what I did. Alright, this part's going to take a minute, so let me turn you off, and I'll get the rest of this rice all dumped in there. Be right back. All of the rice in there, and we put in 4 cups of sugar, which we know is 2 pounds. So, we got our next 2 pounds. So, 4 pounds of sugar or 8 cups, whichever way you want to think about it. Get yourself a little bit of water. Swirl it around. Add some sugar in the bottom of it, because not all the sugar comes out of there. Take your yeast packet. Beat the tar out of it. And we'll be using a whole one today because this will be at least 4 gallons. And we hydrate our yeast. Pretty easy. Done 100 times. I've showed you a million. So I don't know why you're still watching this video, but I thank you for it. There we go. We got that going. Now, with our ingredients, I guess I could do this again. We got 4 cups of jasmine rice. We got 2 cups of raisins. We got 8 cups of sugar. Now we got to add 4 gallons of water. Alright, so let's get to that part. We got it going. But anyway, we're moving along. Here's our 4th gallon of water. We'll get this thing in there, or at least most of the way in there. Maybe. You know what? What the heck? Let's just go for the gold. Alright, we got it in there. Now, we take our spoon. Big old witch's brew spoon. I wish it was wood. I really do, because that would look cool if it was wood. Okay, what you're going to notice, we don't have any yeast in here at all. What you're going to notice is this stuff's really going to start bubbling. Like as if there was yeast in here. Yes, that's right. And the reason is that rice is releasing all the starches. Kind of like potatoes. If you ever peeled some potatoes and put them in some water, you know how them bubbles come up? That's starch. Alright, that's what we're getting here. Okay, and you may say, hey Roger, why did you cook the raisins with the rice? Why would you do that? And my answer would be, it starts breaking down the raisins, releases the sugars, the Krakens it releases, and that way when your fermentation starts, everything's already been, you know, raisins are pre-cooked, I guess you could say. They're dried. But anyway, once you boil them, like you do your rice, they become plump. They become starting to leak their color and sugars and all the goodness of you get from a raisin into there. All right, we got her stirred up and she looks like milk. That's what she looks like. All right, we got our yeast trying to go here. And it ain't ready to go yet. So I'm going to tell you guys something. We did our, tasting thing last Friday. 2 Fridays ago. And we couldn't go live on YouTube because we don't have enough followers or nothing like that. And it didn't really catch that many views. But what we're going to do is if you go to our YouTube knucklehead, to our Facebook channel, which is Amateur Winemakers Club. I'll put it here. Ding! Okay, if you go there, we could do a live feed from there, which would be better, I guess. And then I'll post it on here. But like I said, we had a lot going on this week. We got stuff going on with the cars, this stuff. We got all kinds of things going on. So, now that we got this stuff stirred up, time to pitch our yeast. So, when you're pitching your yeast, you want to make sure you get all your yeast in there. There we go. And I like to swirl it around in the cup. Get any residual yeast out of there. Alright, we'll give her another turn with the big wheel here. And now comes time for our initial gravity reading. Alright, so, once again, turkey baster, been sanitized. Graduated cylinder, been sanitized. 6 ounces of rice wine. We're not going to call it sake because, one, I don't know how to spell it. Wine's a lot easier to spell than sake. Just kidding. I can look it up and learn how to spell it. But I think you have to use a special kind of yeast to make sake. And we're using just the beast yeast. So, here we go. We're going to get our initial gravity right now. All right. Round and around she goes. And we are going to be at... Boy, I had my eye on the wrong thing. We'll give her another spin. Now she's bobbing and weaving. Alright, what we're looking at is 0.01, 0.05. Now, when that finishes out, we should be looking at, let's see here. What's the estimated alcohol? Because it does tell on this. It's showing probably about 7%, like the rest of ours has been. And I've been kind of bummed out about that. Don't know why, I just have been. So what I'm going to do is add some sugar. And I'm going to add sugar until I get to, let's look at our thing. We're wanting to get up to about 12%. So we're going to have to go till this thing hits 0.06. 0.06 would be 15%, and it's never going to make it. So that's where we're headed. We got our sugar added in there. Oh, better add our rice wine. Rice milk, it looks more like. Spin it around. You know what? Let's give it 2. If one does a good job, 2 does better. That's the way I always look at it. Kind of like when you're eating pieces of cake. 1's good, 2's great. And now we got that sand sound on the bottom. So we'll turn it until we don't hear sand no more. See this professional technique I use here? You hold the one at the lip here stationary and you turn the top. That way you don't get a bunch of sloshing. Now if you did it opposite, okay, that works too. So, you know, don't take my advice. Just work it out on your own. Alright. We got her stirred up. As much as I feel like stirring. But some days is less than others. And some days is not at all. Alright. So here we go. We're going to pull us a new sample. Alright, we got us a new sample. And we take our hydrometer, give her a spin. Okay. It's a little higher. I guess maybe 1 would have done it. Because now we're setting at 1.064. And that should come out to about 12% alcohol. Or better. It should be 15 according to our little tester. And we're going to get a little bit more sugar out of the raisins. The raisins are going to leach out sugars. The starch from the rice, jasmine rice. Should be good. Alright, so what do we do at this point? We put the lid on. We clamp her down. And hold on just a minute. I just did it wrong again. So, gosh dang it. These lids are good. I gotta admit that. Take your S-lock before you clamp your lid down. And put your S-lock in it. There we go. And just so you know, we have about 1 inch of headspace here. So as long as we keep our S-lock, let's pull it up a little bit. Above the inch, ta-da, that's about 1/2 inch. Wa-da-da-dee. Alright. Then we don't have to worry about this thing blowing into our fine rice wine. Alright. And that, my friends, oh my gosh, is a heavy wine. Alright, what I have not talked to you guys about is our goal was the 200 gallons by the end of the year. What we got, and I don't have a video of everything. I've tried. I even made a video to try to cover some of the stuff, and it ended up too long, so I just 86'd it. But right now, we're sitting at 11 5-gallon buckets of wine. 11. So, we're going to say there's only 4 gallons in each one. So that's 44 gallons. Counting Tang wine and 2 other wines that have not made it anywhere on the YouTube. We got 3 2-gallon buckets. So, if you take 44 and 6, we got 50 gallons of wine made in the month of January. Holy crap. So, 200 gallon challenge, I went first, was like, oh my goodness, that's 1 gallon a day, and it ain't that hard. Anybody can make 200 gallons. So the good news for y'all is if I can do 50 in a month, you don't have to watch much wine content. We'll be done with this and just tasting it throughout the rest of the year, which will be a one-day deal. So good for you and good for me. All right, if you enjoyed it, there'll be more of it. If you didn't enjoy it, bug somebody with it by sharing it. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that watch my channel. It's an old guy doing something dumb. Really, it's not like those cool channels. I watch them too, where they're younger people and they know lots of cool sayings and stuff, and I don't happen to know them. But you guys can mention them in the comments, and I'll use some of them cool sayings. But anyway, so we know what our starting gravity is on this one. This will be our alcohol wine. So, we'll see how it does. We'll come back to this one, probably on a tasting, or when we go to rack it. I appreciate you, and keep coming back. See you later.